Right, hello everybody and welcome to FRL's Super Sprint Sunday. We have a treat on for you this evening. We have not one, not two, but three tiers vying for the ultimate racing crown in Italy. Monza, the Temple of Speed, is what awaits all 35 drivers that are joining us this evening. We have Pro, we have Silver, and we have AM drivers all ready and raring to go. Retro will be joining us very shortly. I am your host so far. I'm the Wifafa, otherwise known as Greg. Let us know in the comments who you're supporting and what we can do to aid your viewing experience. Just realised I'm going to need some assistance from the track map. There we go. It's come up finally. So we're starting off with the AM drivers who've just finished Fast and Furious quali. 215 is our first driver out. And that is Sir Fontaine in the navy and Red Bull style livery on the Ferrari. What a sacrilege. And he'll be the first one to take us around the Temple of Speed. In the F1 calendar at least, the fastest track on the F1 calendar. Obviously there's a few different alterations in the GT3 calendar. Much more forgiving for these GT3 cars, especially on the track limits, like was just exemplified there in Lesmo 1 for Sir Fontaine, Lesmo 2 for Sir Fontaine. Thank you, Mr. Retro. He'll be joining us very shortly. I just had to check myself; it didn't pop up straight away. Thank you everybody for joining us. 8 watching so far. A lot of interest, clearly for this AM division, making look the support for the Silver and Pro division almost petty. So as Sir Fontaine's going to approach the Parabolica now, and when Retro gets here, I'm sure he'll take us through the standings as they sit for the AM. And speak the devil, here he is, Retro Ghost. Needs to turn me down before he gets commenting and talking himself.
Well, I was just making sure the stream worked to make sure you wasn't having an audience of no one.
We absolutely have an audience, and we've all got 7 people watching. So it's fantastic as we set off on Sir Fontaine's lap. If you won't mind pulling up the information for the league standings for Pro, Silver, and AM. I'm sure the audience would love to know what they've got in store for them this evening.
Yes, certainly will do, buddy. Give me 2 seconds, just getting my second POV stream just up and running. As for some reason my PlayStation decided to do a Ferrari and just completely self-implode. Typically on Monza as well, out of all tracks, I couldn't have written it on a worse circuit for it to happen on.
So whilst we're waiting for Retro just to set himself up, we're going to follow Sir Fontaine, who's just gone through the second chicane and is entering Lesmo 1 with a bit more aggression than we saw him first time round. Holding it in about 3rd gear, powering out, avoid the grass as you exit, pull over to the left hand again, open the corner up for Lesmo 2, one of the most important sections of the track to nail because you are now flat out in a straight line all the way through to the Ascari chicane. Thank you everybody so far for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, join the Discord if you fancy some action yourself. We've got you covered for absolutely everything in regards to esports. Sir Fontaine not electing to take too much curb on the inside of Ascari so far in the session. The AM drivers do have the first 10 minutes to set their times, and then they will relinquish their positions on track and go straight over to the Silver drivers. Looking fairly pinned. A very tight line around the Parabolica. Trying to avoid understeer on your way out. Cuts towards the pit wall. Far over that white line as you dare, and sets the initial pace of a 151.2. Quickly beaten by Van der Waal in the black, blue and green trim McLaren. And Calguin, we put it P2, only 3/10 down. We're already into the 149s. Other drivers coming towards the line as well. Got car number 9. There's a lot of scrolling.
Interrupt you there, buddy. I've got the standings up and ready to roll. If you are willing to let me waffle some results.
Absolutely.
So, in the Pro tier tonight, we've got Adam Sharp leaving the Pros with a 381 points. At the moment, Luke Prentice, his rival in P2, is 367 points. So just barely 14 points separates from P1 to P2. Carl Sween, a name not to be reckoned with as well. P3, he's only 1 point behind Luke Prentice. Reese Dinn in the Porsche, P4, 347. So it's very tight between, say, the top 5, top 6, top 7. So it's all to play for Monza. Last couple of rounds, so we do have the extra round of Laguna Seca at the end of the calendar, as we missed it for the football. I mean, we say it every week. We should have just stayed racing, buddy, to be honest.
Absolutely.
So that clears out the Pro tier. So now we're going to move along to the Silver tier. When my phone decides to load, we got Mr. Kyle Revel leading the Silver tier with 398 points. Smashing lead. Samuel Grafe in P2, 350 points. So Mr. Revel's got a 48 point lead over P2 at the minute. Krevek in P3 is only 5 points behind P2. And then Stu Rogers, P4, is also 2 points behind Mr. Krevek. Molnix, so slightly behind in P5, is also only 7 points behind. So it's very typical there. Say Gedman, 315. The tennis ball yellow didn't have the return season that he wanted. He won last season. I'm pretty sure he's lost in the AstroTurf, I think, somewhere. Don't you think, buddy?
Oh, he's buried himself somewhere, like one of them attack spiders. He's going to come out.
I think of the best tennis ball reference or tennis reference, but that's probably more your department than mine.
There's only one time the tennis balls ever got stuck in the court. It was Andy Roddick in a Gatorade advert, but we'll stay away from tennis and we'll steer back into the Monza.
So just mention now the Silver tier. We do have now the Pro Am and Am tier. So we've got Mr. Van der Waal in P1 with 398 points, leading his class. Say, I'm probably going to butcher this, Heymans, so please apologise. Ruta Heymans in P2, 380 points. He's only 18 points behind the leader. Lee Colpitts as well is only 20 points behind P2. Paul Trotman is 1 point behind top 3. Sorry, the guy in P3. Jay Thacker as well is also only 6 points behind P4. So it's very tight between the top 5. Say Quintin Robert in P6, 349. So it's the top 6. Very close there for the Pro Am and Am tier.
Yeah, so some of the names you just pulled out there are sitting quite close to each other on the track. Thacker is just leading Surf Untamed and Q Robert down from P7 to P9 respectively. We've still got a few drivers finished off their laps here. We've got to go back to car number 9 once again of Townsend in the dark pink McLaren. Has the white Porsche, just slightly move out of his way as he does bring himself up to P7. Another car coming around the Parabolica now. It's car number 87. And there we go. That's SC. Judd SC. Who pulls himself ahead of Trotman. 1.2 seconds off the pace. Callaghan has really found some pace around here.
I think we may have a naughty boy on the circuit.
Oh, is there someone from a different division?
Whether it's a technical error or maybe just a entry list error, but say Coppens in the Porsche has set a time.
I think that's somebody who's been very slightly confused by the addition of the Am tier this evening. So that will be raised and flagged to the stewards. Obviously, it's up to them what they do with that information. As they string them up by their ears, but you know. But yet to set a time is Hoek, who's just coming towards the line now and puts himself up into P12. Reasonable spread in the Am tier. About 2.5 seconds separates P1 to P2. in that division as we come to a close in the AM qualifying. Still have a few more coming round though. Go back to Townsend. He's had a lot of screen time this evening, but as he's the last to set a lap in the AM tier, along with, I know he's bailed out. What about Thacker? In the very Golf-looking Porsche. It pulls into the pits. I think that's a lot of people bailing out their laps now. Van der Vault still going around. Looking, oh, in the background there, car number 912, which will be. Forgive me. Oh, someone in the background. We'll find out who that is. Car number 912 retro. Can you spot? Ah, there we are. Hoek going sliding is the gravel in between the Lesmos. But Van der Vault looks like he is going to try and finish this lap. He did cross the line in time. He still has time to do so. Currently sitting P3, sliding through Ascari, heavy on the sausage curbs, but settles himself for the exit and snakes out the corner. Still seems to have his foot planted, but now he's come off it now. But we'll go on board with car number 510.
Who's just Robert in a Lamborghini. Very, very dangerous at Ascari. So sometimes you'll take the same line through it multiple times and you'll be fine, but it'll take that one little push too hard and it will chew you up and spit you out.
Not in that Lambo.
Many a time.
Not in that Lambo it won't. And do you know what? I've had a Lambo the other night.
I mean, I'm not going to say it, but you've got no excuse for driving around Monza, but you wasn't a Ferrari, so we'll let you off.
It was cursed. So Q Robert jumps himself all the way up from P11 all the way to P5, the last of the AM drivers to set a lap time, I believe. Car number 41 just about to come across the line. What time will that bring? Just bear with us tonight, man, to flick through a fair few more cars than I'm usually having to in an attempt to find those on a lap. There's a Mustang. Ooh, flies straight over the curb. Who was that? That was car number 7. One of the Mustangs. Car of Grafe going straight across the first chicane. You can join if one of the admins are watching. I'm sure they can drop you a link in the description or in the comments, and they'll send you a link to the Discord where you can pick up any of the ACC racing, both on console or PC, the iRacing, Formula 1, Gran Turismo, you name it. If it has 4 wheels and it goes around a track online, FRL's got you covered.
Well, speaking of 4 wheels and going around a track, we have got the leader of the silver tier, Mr. Revel, just starting his hot lap.
Do you want to take us around for this one, Retro?
Into turn 1. I mean, my corner name knowledge around Monza is a little bit rusty, and my pronunciation, as you tell me off, isn't quite right. So we do have Mr. Revel getting that McLaren very nicely round turn 1. No sort of slipping and sliding like you normally see. No Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton just happening just yet. And so now spots his braking for the second chicane even. Ooh, a bit of a tap there, or a bit of a sausage there on Monza. Not quite the pasta that he ordered. Slipping and sliding all over the place now. Lesmo 1 looks very tidy. Lesmo 2, can he keep it clean? Using all the legal curbing he can, keeping that car planted on the tarmac in between the black and white stuff. Now getting that car fired down. So now they're straight. Interesting to see where he's going to brake here. Is he going to be brave on the brakes? Yes, he is. Is he? Oh no, he can't keep it on. He goes for a bit of a bucket and spade in the sand, all over Ascari. It is an absolute drama for Mr. Revel, but he's still got just under 6 minutes to put the bucket and spade down, get those few tenths of sand back out his under trays, and go again for a lap.
No, I'm going to try Dazza, but do you know what? If you're caught in the background, there's nothing I can do. But we go on board with the man who's currently leading the silver tier in this qualifying session, and that is Kravek, who takes a bucket load of curb on the outside of Lesmo 2, heading up towards Ascari, all uphill, all power, no nonsense. You brake just underneath the last signage board, bit further if you dare. You can just about clip this sausage curb. He does it ever so nicely. Doesn't go for a trip to the beach like Kyle did, but off he goes.
Speaking of trips to the beach, I was just still on board with Mr. Revel just there and completely made an absolute butchering of turn 1 there, so I don't think he's going to set a decent competitive time in his standards on this lap. I say much still quicker than my time. He's done the same again as he did on his opening lap. Still getting that second chicane a little bit too dicey there.
Now Kravik, who's still currently sat behind P1 of the AM tier, still can't have that beaten. Callaghan in the AM tier is still leading and setting the pace, and the silver tier very much still not making much of an impact on the AM tier. It's very mixed. I mean, they are dominating mostly, but there's still plenty of AM drivers mixed in and ultimately leading the silver tier as we go through this qualifying session, with only 4 minutes left of their allocated time.
Well, you know what they say. If you're setting a time in the wrong tier, stop sandbagging and get packing.
We're just catching G Brown, I believe, is just warming up his tyres for this lap in his very, very broadly coloured Bentley barge.
Because you changed it again this week. Is it as day glow? Or it is just as day glow. He's had a bit of flare this week. I see a bit of pink on the side. And so Brown had an absolute sensational race 2 last week, taking a pole position after having a mid-race interview expecting decent points for Brown. Couldn't really picture where he was going to finish. Just wanted to get the car home safe, but managed to stick it on top dog pole. G Brown's, he currently sits P2 in class at this qualifying stage.
So you go back on board with Kravik once again, third time lucky, trying to get ahead of all those in his tier and below. Looking like he's really going full chat around Parabolica this time. And there we have it. 2.5 tenths, finally puts himself clear. He'll be looking for a further improvement to try and keep those other drivers behind him. What about Revel, the man leading the championship? I've lost track of him. Where's he gone?
I think he's disappeared. Oh, he's right at the bottom. He is still on track. He's just at the very bottom of the leaderboard. He's just taking his sweet time to set a lap. Just to
as he attempts to scuttle in. As we pick him up once again through Ascari, looks a lot more controlled this time. So
I
on
think,
Monza.
to be fair to Mr. Revel, though, I think recently, he's going to hate me for saying this, we both bought a button box for this game, and mine was plug and play, worked from the very get-go, but unfortunately Kyle had a bit of issues on his button box. He had to delete his game, delete his save data, reinstall the game, do all sorts of shenanigans, so he lost all of his setups for this game, but he does stick P3 at the moment. He does set a time, P4 on the table, but P3 in class.
And then quickly dropped down by Brown, who's really dialed in that Bentley this week, puts himself P2, just shuffles inside that 0.25 of a second to just shave himself into the front row of the silver tier. Car number 41 of Mulnix, we've not given enough attention to, in the blue with red trim Ferrari, as he rounds a Parabolica. A lot of undramaticness through a lot of this lap, but believe me, when they get fighting as the race starts, believe me, there'll be drama, as Mulnix does just bring himself up to P8 and now retires from the session. Car number 4 of Harvey with the optic white and blue striped Ferrari comes towards the line. No improvement. Car number 28 of Tabbers. No improvement.
It's nice to see as well, we do have a little train here. We do have S. Rogers, and then we've got that very, very bright Mercedes in the mix. I think I just put my sunglasses back on to look at AMG once again. And so we do have car 77 in the Mustang S. Grafe. But we do have a Ferrari being blue flagged, wherever he's going to get.
Oh, as Rebel brings himself up to P2. And G Brown, another one to come towards the line for his last stab. And he just jumps ahead of Rebel, puts himself less than a tenth of a second, half a tenth of a second from Kravek. This is the sharp end of the grid. And then he destroys the
now that's not admin material, is it, Brown?
No. That's it, you go sit on that Ferrari. On the naughty step.
Oh, we have 211 bailed out in Ascari, returns to the pits. Whether the car of 77 is either trying to give Grafe a tow, or he's going to impede him, but so I think Grafe has got every intention. Oh no, he bails into the pits. Car 22. That is Handley, who then also bails out of the lap as he crosses the line.
So first, car 80.
Rogers, P11. Car 4, G Harvey, P6.
So car 80 of Damrat is on a lap, but he's in an awful lot of traffic of those trying to start the lap. Not sure if he might have abandoned this one, but he is allowed to set the lap if he wants to.
I believe it's too far gone, so it's only 8 minutes and 15 seconds left of the session.
I mean, they will get to run over to some degree as Mola, who's had wins in the previous races, starts his lap, opens his account in FRL Super Sunday around Monza, round 7. There's a wide berth
of the of Mola as well, as he missed last week,
as he flies through the debris that Brown created. Now, thank goodness it's actually bright around Monza, because I wouldn't be able to spot that thing in conditions we had in previous weeks.
Well, you never know, it could get dark.
In the gloss black AMG black Mercedes. So quite a wide berth of these sausages and curbs, considering how well that Mercedes hops over them, tickling the grass on the outside into Lesmo 1, hanging it as wide as he dares on the exit. Like I say, hops a little bit of curb, opens up the corner for him nicely with the Porsche of Simon not far behind him. Feisty one he is. Mola, maximum attack over the Ascari exit curb. Now I do suspect the Mercedes, with its power, with its grunt, with its ability to ride curbs, I believe that as he comes round the Parabolica and throws it over the line, that he will find himself top, if not close to, if not top of the leaderboard. Hello, Gedman.
Uh-oh, we've got to be on our best behaviour now.
He's probably wanting us to let you know that FRL does have a Patreon. You can join it for £3 a month.
Oh dear.
And so yeah, lots of little perks you can have within the FRL server that I'll need to look up, or if Retro can do, so I can hang on to the commentary. Gedman pays 10 for the extra good stuff.
I mean, to be fair, as Gedman's standards go, he pays £10 just for that bright coloured Porsche paint. Don't worry about anything else. He just pays £10 to Dulux every week and just gets that Porsche absolutely plastered in the neon stuff.
So the word I've been given to tell you is that membership starts at £3 a month, and you can reserve your race number and get first chance to sign up for championships before anyone else. And season 15 events are now open to Patreon subscribers. I will make sure to remind you, because you deserve, you the listeners, you the watchers, you the drivers deserve those benefits.
Also, as we are on our best behaviour as well, if you are already in the server or do want to join the server, the lads are working very hard on behind the scenes spicy stuff for the off-season races and upcoming content as well. But I don't know if I'm allowed to spoil too much just yet, but if you haven't already, the admins and the moderators will drop a link to the Discord in the YouTube hopefully at some point.
So at the moment we've got two Porsches battling down the final straight for some reason. That's
Ardin and the Neapolitan Porsche.
He does now back out. Moller does find that time we've all been looking for. Sween still 2/10 down. Ardin rounding the Parabolica with a salad green Ferrari ahead of him. Who is that? Car 80. That's Damrat, yeah.
That is Damrat and a very, very fluorescent McLaren.
Oh, is that as the Porsche ahead of him? That is car 91. I got that right? 912, sorry.
912 is okay. Okay. I mean, we're probably going to get cancelled for butchering people's names, so if we do butcher it, we are sorry, but please do let us know. We want to entice you to join the races so we can have some great, absolutely fantastic fun.
I'd like to just raise it to any admins that are watching that Hoke is a AM tier driver that seems to have been out through the whole of qualifying.
Oh.
And he is very much obstructing the qualifying.
Oh, he's getting a bump from Damrat behind there. Is there any proof of him being out?
Well, he's out right now in the wrong session. We'll try not to give him too much screen time, but he is currently in the way. Go on board with car 21.
I mean, if you are still watching, Gedman, yeah.
Sween drawing ever closer to Moller, but not quite beating him just yet.
According to the replay, he's done 4 laps. Oh no, that's the wrong car. I was on someone. Is it 912? Yeah, he did 2 laps really early on, waited ages, and now he's just come back out again. So unfortunately, you will be starting from the pits.
So Damrat 3/10 off the pace as it stands. Car number 21, Sween, still going round again. He'll be the next pit. Oh, as he's gone for quite the adventure. I feel like I need to read him going on a bear hunt story. Can't go over it, can't go under it. Might be able to go around it, and that's what he's done to Lesmo 1 and 2. Down the grid of Omran, who's usually in that Beamer, super powerful, super speedy Beamer. It's down in P21, way off his challenges for his positions in his tier. Down in P21, the lowest of all the pro drivers as it currently stands. Round the Parabolica, we're hoping for a significant improvement. But we wait and see. What will he do? Still no improvement from Omran. That's really, really surprising. So quite close at the top. Only 300 of a second separate Moller from Sween. Din and Sharp further back with exactly the same time. Further back, Jay Prentice in another neon but with pink Mustang. Pulls himself up to P14. And he's going
Maybe
to
they
go
got the memo and we love just neon coloured cars because we have to spend so much money on sunglasses every week.
Maybe so. So we're going to catch them as they go over the line here. So car number 19.
Prentice missed out marginally.
So Simon will be the first of the last drivers to come over the line, and we're going to follow him round. I know, it's just like we're going back to the early 90s. I'm assuming. I mean, I've seen some of the maturity of some of the guys in this league, and I can understand.
I can't really comment because I was a '99 baby, so
you don't count.
I missed it.
You don't count. No, that's not a real 90s child.
I know, sorry.
But Simon, in the ever classy, sort of jet black and gold trim Porsche. Was it more like a dark green actually, but looks black on certain reflections? He powers the line, 6/10 his current gap. What can he do? Does improve, puts himself ahead of Kravek. Puts himself ahead.
Omram in the car 814 just behind, moves up to P18. Car 37.
Of Sharp.
Just shortly behind.
And
Sharp,
he backs out.
He bails out. Car 80. Where are you?
I think that's one that's not meant to be out there.
Yeah, that's Damrat. No, Damrat's allowed to be out.
And Prentice
6, 7, 8.
is pushing all this to the line.
He's going to back out.
And where'd he go? Didn't improve in the end. So there you have it, everybody. There is your starting grid for both races in our Super Sprint Sunday. We reset in between each race. We have a 20-minute race. We're going to start with this grid, and no matter what, come what may, we're going to start the 40-minute race 2, with the same starting grid. So all is not over if you've been it in 20 minutes.
So also just to mention as well, no matter where you finish in race 1, you will get reset to where you qualified for race 2. So obviously if you stick it decent points in race 1, well unfortunately if you proved it in race 1, well you're going to prove it again in race 2. So it's all more exciting for us and you guys at home. If you are watching, do let us know who's going to spin it, win it and bin it.
And that doesn't count for your commentators. We're going to try not to bin it very much.
Well, I hope not. I mean, your internet's been alright, touch wood so far. It's more my PlayStation database that decides to do a Ferrari at the minute.
Yeah, so there you have it. So leading the Pro tier away will be Moller, followed by Sween at only 0.03 of a second. Further back, Din and Sharp will start on the same row with the same time, followed by Damra and Antonor in P5 and 6 respectively. Then Simon rounds off that top group of Pro drivers. Then we go into the Silver Division with Kravek, Brown and Revel for the top 3 there, separated by only 0.2 of a second. A very, very successful AM driver of Kalugin, I'm gonna say, who sets himself completely away from the rest of his tier with Tabbers and Harvey in the Silver tier in P12 and 13. Prentice fairly off the top pack in P14, 9/10 off the pace, followed by Colpitts in AM class, not too far behind him. BTK and Mulnick P16 and 17 in silver. Omran in Pro in P18. Van der Waal in P19 in the AM division. Furthest down of the Silver division are Rogers and Grafe in P20 and 21. And we have Canel, Robert, SC, Rogers and Trotman all the way from P22 down to P26. Then we have L. Prentice, who never quite really pulled it together, in the Lamborghini in P27. Then we have Townsend, Thacker, Serfontaine, Kalugin. Oh, thank you. Genrich, P31. Hoek, who I think will be starting from the pit lane, qualifies P32 but will be starting from the pit lane. Handley in P33 in silver. Gedman, silver, 34. Coppens in silver, 35. Rodriguez in the P36. Naisbitt, my apologies, these are the furthest down of the silver drivers. And then we have, we'll go all the way to the bottom. Coppens, Rodriguez, Naisbitt, Cablo, and those two poor old sods, P39 and P40, are your commentators. So thank you everybody so far who's joined in with the stream, commented and liked and subscribed. Share it with a family member, share it with a friend. If you don't like it, share it with somebody you don't like. And give them a lovely evening.
I mean, if you send me a stream, should I be offended?
Just make sure it's shared. That's what matters.
Sharing's caring, alright?
Sharing's caring.
I mean, sharing's caring. The 80s phone, they want their neon colours back.
They do. They really, really do. All you guys wrapped in neon spandex, ready to get some exercise for 20 minutes.
I mean, hopefully the spandex isn't like cyclists and they've got all the gear and hopefully have an idea on what's going to happen for race 1, Monza. Multi-tier. Fantastic.
3-tier multi-tier. It's like
It's
like what your mum would never let you order from the ice cream man.
It's like a cake, isn't it?
Yeah, like a cake or like a triple decker ice cream. That's what I'm thinking when I'm looking at that car at Dins.
I was going to say something about that, but you beat me to it.
It's right there. It's right in the middle of the screen, looking like an ice cream.
I think I did that the first time. I kept calling it an ice cream. I think after the stream, I literally had to sit there and eat an ice cream because I was talking about ice cream so much. I wanted it so bad.
Absolutely frothing for it. But ahead of them all, there's a bright yellow tractor up ahead as well. I don't think that's going to beat them to the first turn, regardless of the distance it has. We hope not, Missile Dog Shaft. We hope not. I mean, behaving's one thing. Getting away with stuff is another thing. Me and Retro, unfortunately, with one of the lovely foibles that is ACC's spectator mode, is that you have to wait for Sector 1 to finish before you are allowed to have accurate readings of the timing screen.
20 seconds.
In 20 seconds, after all the drivers have hit drive, we're going to go on a formation lap, a lovely tour of the Circuit de Monza. Now, one thing you may notice me commentating throughout the stream, I'll be hopefully not flip-flopping between the actual name of Turn 3, which you'll probably more fondly know as the Curve de Grande. It is actually not called the Curve de Grande, hasn't been since 1974, would you have it. It's actually called Curva Biasono. But we are going to refer to it as the Curve de Grande. Why? Because it's just easier. That's why.
Just showing your age there, mate. Really?
Hey, I was born 93. I have only known it as per what Martin Brundle and Crofty have told me.
I mean, I think the last time you opened that corner name book, I think a few moths come out of it last time when you're Curve de Grande. Curve de Grandad, shall I say?
Curve de... Oh, God. There's 5 years.
Have a full formation lap.
Stream listeners, there is 5 years between me and Retro, and it might as well be 50.
You said it, not me.
But we are all here to have fun. We've got so many drivers fighting their way around Monza. Even if you get lapped around it, we've got 20 minutes and then 40 minutes. You can fight your way back. There's so many cars. There's going to be positions absolutely everywhere for you to take. I mean, look at that. On the track map, they pretty much filled the entirety of the Curve de Grande. And that's how little space is going to be left on this track. Oh! As we catch, I think that was Damrat in the rear, just bounding over the second part of the Variante della Roggia. So as Retro has already dug me out, I do read the track corner names from a book, so if it sounds like I'm reading, it's because I am.
Yeah, you can't get subtitles for a book, mate.
I know. Wish I could annotate. Might just get a Sharpie out and annotate my monitor on the screen.
Old men yell at virtual cars. Keep it up, lads. Best of luck on the carnage. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. We're hoping that everybody's brakes stay connected.
I'm going to rat you out once more. I think there was a fair few old men shouting at you specifically after your Ferrari shenanigans the other night.
Oh, that's in a different league, far, far away. We don't need to pull that into. It shall
remain hidden.
It shall remain hidden and unmentioned.
If you want the footage, I'll send it to you. £5.
All proceeds go to FRLs. they're running.
FRL Secret Santa to buy Greg some driving lessons.
So as Mola finally approaches...
Interestingly, I did just miss whether you've mentioned it, but I was too busy doing your job and waffling. Car 912 starts from the pits, as he should. And we also have another car in the pits as well. Can't quite see who that is.
I believe there's only so many threes. Is it number 36?
Coppins,
yeah.
And the two naughty boys from the qualifying are in the pits, as they should.
So we've got 12 people watching. We have 35 drivers revving up their engines as we enter. We're absolutely going hard as we can into turn 1 in Monza. We're going to get the green light any moment now. They're coming up towards the checkered line. They go 2 by 2. And it looks like Sharp is pulling up alongside Din, potentially even edging ahead. Moller is maximising this start box, and we are green. We are go, go, go. Moller gets a good start. It looks like Sween is cutting across the cover. Din.
Din's got a great run up,
but he's going to get boxed out by Moller. So far, so good. But
he's going to punch his way through.
3 wide doesn't work into turn 1, but he's going to try and make it work. Din gets ahead.
Oh, car's going from Din onto Moller.
Is this going to start backing the pack up? Looks all good. So far, so good. Lots of sensibleness in the back. I can't see any major issues, but Din looking for a move round the outside, round the Curve de Grande. He's got the inside line for Variante della Riga. Moller, with the power of that Mercedes, cuts back ahead and gets the entry in. And we've got McLaren's in the background, both bounding over the curve as we have a spinner. Oh, absolute carnage at the rear.
Cars everywhere. I missed that. I think that was Sween.
I think Sween just jumped over the curbing, bounded across, and then took so many people with him.
So our two pit laners are making their way through. Cablo as well is now on track. Car 242.
242 is in the pits. Moller is still leading. As further back,
see who 242 is. 242 Naisbit. Naisbit unfortunately wasn't doing his bit.
Oh, as Antonori's just been punted, and Antonori's car looks in absolutely dreadful shape. That Ferrari looks worse.
Interrupt there, buddy. Revel has made up places. He's just overtaken Kravek to take the lead in class just before the Parabolica there.
So much close racing here. Simon just ahead of that.
Look, Simon
is behind.
Times in update, yeah. So Revel overtook Simon.
And Revel looking for a move on Sharp now. McLaren versus McLaren. Revel has the inside. Can he get on the brakes early enough? Sharp brakes a little bit deeper. Revel then opens his braking up. Goes deeper still. Tappings.
He taps a sausage. Oh, that's unfortunate, but great defending and reflexes from Sharp there. So I think the tap of the curb did help Revel defend that position there. But
so I've just gone back to Harvey. He's got Tabbers going around his outside with Brown in close company. No, Brown's ahead, sorry. But Brown's going to an extreme inside into the chicane. so much going on. But we're staying on board with Brown because he's going to the inside of car number 10. But backs out just for now. The Mustang ahead of him with Jay Prentice just going a little bit wavy over the Lesmo. And who's that in the back? I think that might be Mulnix. It was going all over the gravel on the outside of Lesmo 2.
So we have car number 9, Townsend, back in the pits. A lot of cars are already looking battered and bruised already.
So down towards Ascari, Rodriguez closes in on Genrich.
We've got El Prentice having a big moment out of Ascari, finds himself in the wall. Hopefully, yes, he's going to hold his brakes to stop his car rolling back on the track. That is going to damage his ego as much as it is his repair times.
As he sits very
patiently. There's
patiently.
another car as well. Is that a Bentley I see? That was Cablo. Unfortunately, as a stop-go penalty, I did just see for
That must have been
Townsend.
quite a big corner cut.
It's for Townsend, but he's already in the pits.
I think he's called it a night on this particular one. As we have Colpitts down the inside, going very deep on the brakes, avoids the car ahead of Mulnix.
We've got Handley from moving to turn 1, but I think Antonori just had, Serfontaine sector times were a little bit out of shape there.
The Serfontaine got quite the train of Ferraris behind him. Antonori and Handley looking to keep him honest.
Could have been brave. 3 wide there. G Brown and that big Bentley letting it known how big it is. He's got all the Ferraris trying to swamp this
as we've got 2
barge.
cars backwards at the second chicane. Who's that? That is Serfontaine.
That is the very white, bright AMG of BTK.
So there's 3 cars taken out at the second chicane.
Quite can't see as well as that Sween, I believe.
Sector time's not updating. It's causing absolute havoc in the comms box. We're going to try and bring you everything we can. So Brown currently chasing down Harvey. Harvey in the white Ferrari leading this pack.
He's definitely got the speed for him. He's reading him slowly. He's going to close up on the brakes.
Got Mulnix trying to make a move on the inside of Tabbers into the Parabolica.
He's going to drift out wide. I think he does force Tabbers wide a bit there.
Oh, there's a sausage curb there. Oh, he just misses it. I've seen that curb send many a car flying, but Tabbers has kept the pace after coming from off track. This should be a move into the first turn. He goes wide. He's got Colpitts and the BMW just behind, which out of the slipstream is now losing out to. Tabbers still keeps his car alongside though. Can he get around him? Space is given. Oh, as they touch on the exit.
I think, to be fair, if that was Mulnix and Tabbers, I think I'd probably be inclined to give Tabbers the place back. He technically did squeeze him off track there, but maybe they're going to fight it out.
Colpitts and Van der Voort looking really interested into this next chicane. Around the Curve de Grande. Was Van der Voort's gone very deep and then just about reins in his brakes.
Brown just up ahead is not letting Harvey go.
So Simon currently defending from Kravek behind him. Just over a tenth of a second the gap as they enter into Ascari. Oh, looks like Simon takes a lot of the initial curb.
Oh, speaking of Ascari, we've got G Brown trying to make a move on the inside down the straight. Is he going to be on the brakes? Gives us space to Harvey very nicely, but that Bentley barge just giving it absolutely everything of space.
I don't think he's quite got the exit he wanted.
No, he's going to get the speed from the Bentley down the straight. But Mulnix was hot on the back of that as well. Ooh, I think Harvey nearly come into contact with G Brown there.
So now Harvey and Mulnix side by side. Oh, it looks like Harvey just has to back out of that one. Mulnix, sorry, had to back out of that one. There he is. Closing them down is Tabbers though. He seems to have dropped Colpitts that little bit behind. Lots of cars going necessarily defensive into the first turn. And that does allow Colpitts and the BMW to close up. Towards the front though, Simon has got 2 cars on his tail.
We've got Sharp side by side with Simon.
Oh, Simon takes the curb.
Oh, that does invite Kravek past.
Kravek slots in nicely. Goes a little bit deeper into the corner, but that's okay. There's plenty of track to use on the outside the curb there. As COVID strikes in the background.
Yeah, unfortunately didn't quite get that one, but say Revel absolutely utilising the chances of, say, Kravek being caught in the fight between Sharp and Simon. Say Revel leading his class in silvers, just running away with this lead at the minute.
Kravek massively too engaged with Simon here to start giving Revel any sort of fight.
So Jay Prentice is also on the back of Sharp as well in that minty coloured Mustang.
In the safety car looking McLaren is going to lead the Mustang away through here, but looking ahead, Kravek very, very close to Simon. He's done a great parabolica, but then again, looking back, so has Prentice. Prentice to the inside. Just 2 by 2. We're going to take the first battle first. Kravek round the outside of Simon. Simon late on the brakes. Just about enough space is given.
Jay Prentice, lovely move there. Slotted in front of Sharp there on the brakes for turn 1.
But Kravek and Simon continues. Kravek didn't get the best exit. He hit the sausage curb on exit. Simon's going to have the outside as they go into the chicane. Kravek has maintained speed. And I think he's going to take this chicane.
Oh, Kravek all out of shape there, hitting the curb in. So did Simon as well. To try to make use of his error, but also made one himself. Sharp and Jay Prentice hot on the back of this battle wherever we went. There's always a battle everywhere. Tabbers and
so just gone back a little bit to look at Gedman in the Porsche. He's chasing down SC. There's a lot of damaged cars behind them.
Yeah, so we've got Sween trying to chase down Q Robert, P22 as well.
Q Robert looking very, very committed on his accelerator. Oh, as he takes a boatload of curbing on the inside, that's going to slow him down towards Ascari.
Which also does invite Gennerich on the back of that as well in that BMW. We know the BMW's no slouch on a straight line speed.
Sween completely missing the apex on the exit of Ascari, but he might have got his foot down earlier.
Oh, just behind we've got Rodriguez overtaking Rogers in the Mustang, but goes deep into Parabolica, which I think Rogers is going to say thank you very much and take his position back.
They are going to jump back towards the front because Simon is closing back in on Kravek. Actually, no, that's Prentice. Prentice is ahead. So Prentice having a great drive in his very fluorescent Mustang as he goes defensive to the inside for Lesmo 1. Simon flicks to the outside. Will he try the cutback? Gets the better line.
Great drive out there, Simon does.
Yeah, as the Mustang drifts. Ah, such an unfortunate thing to hear, does it? It's a very dangerous track with a lot of drivers on it. Statistically, it was going to happen to somebody. Sure, that's no comfort, but so probably the closest battle going on at the moment is this battle, P5. There's Prentice with all that power of the Mustang in this track. As long as he can get his foot planted sufficiently, he pulls away on the straights. Perfect, just drifting wide. Might be able to get on the power a bit earlier. He keeps getting very, very close to that sausage curb on the outside. Taking one for the team, absolutely.
Oh, someone's got to, haven't they?
It's Monza, it requires a sacrifice. I'm not sure if anyone
sacrifice. Simon's just dropping off here now, so Joe Prentice has made a move. Sharp.
So I've just caught
back as well.
Kalugin going quite deep at the chicane, but behind him, Brown is trying to make a move around the outside of Harvey. How does the Bentley barge fare when he's having to search for grip on the dirty outside part of Curve de Grande? How is your braking? It's pretty good, but I'm going to have to take a bit of the sausage curb. Oh! As Harvey punts Mulnix as he exits the corner. And that drops Mulnix quite far back. Simon's still on the back of Prentice. Prentice still just struggling to really hook up the lap that gives him the space to Simon. Harvey not giving up on this. So that Bentley's taken an awful lot of punishment.
Kalugin at the moment. He's dropped massively off. Kalugin at the moment and Ascari. Brown and Harvey have just flown past him like he was parked stationary.
Yeah, and there he goes.
Colpitts and Van der
Harvey's
Waal
thrown onto the inside. Harvey on the inside of Parabolica. Drives out and away from Brown. But that means that Kalugin is going to follow the slipstream of Brown. Brown with a better driver on Parabolica, but ultimately has lost position, searching for that better line. But here comes Brown with the slipstream, goes to the outside. How's your brakes into turn one? But just after the 150 metre board, down they go. Looks like Harvey's taken a very tight line in there, but he seems to have navigated that chicane very well. Brown quite wide on the exit has invited Kalugin around his outside. Porsche with very, very good traction.
So Brown was very lucky to not get tapped from the Porsche there through the very tricky turn one there. So he got the different angle camera, he got quite close to the pat bumper of Brown there.
Was Kalugin shows his nose at the inside, but does very well to hold a respectful line.
Mulnix is closing in once again.
So I'm just going back to Sween and Thacker that were very close in the timing screens. The Gulf McLaren. The Gulf Porsche, sorry.
Oh no, big contact. Mulnix and Kalugin in Lesmo 2 there. Little tap from the rear and then unfortunately tapped again, which spun Mulnix all the way around and into the wall. Mulnix not having the race one that he wanted. Car 369 has now jumped back to the pits and to Nori.
Simon now left to fight Prentice alone. Without the distractions, what can he do now? Oh, as Prentice gets
from the Mustang.
But that has made Simon have to lift out, I think, as he absolutely decimates.
Oh, that's a bit cheeky.
He absolutely decimated there. He absolutely decimated the like the lane separator. As Prentice switches his line to the inside, just ahead of Simon. Simon gets muscled out by the muscle car before turn 2.
I think that's very cheeky from Prentice there. I think if I was Simon...
Oh, sorry, Kalugin has cut the first chicane over the grass. And that's had him return back to behind Brown. What does this mean for Colpitts and Van der Waal? Van der Waal, who's looking the most likely to make an overtake here. Around the outside of Colpitts. As the back out as he loses speed. But he has a straight line on the braking.
Van der Waal on the inside.
Oh, there's a hit! Returns the space and gets past. Simon as close as ever on the back of Prentice. He'll be wanting revenge for that ultimately, what we saw from our angle at least, looked fairly sketchy into turn 1 in terms of switching lines. It's just not giving him any sort of respite.
Colpitt's still all over the back of Van der Waal through Ascari, using that big barge beamer build. He's going to try and get him down straight here before the Parabolica.
I'd like to think he'd probably attempt to set him up. You want to use the top speed of that BMW, not just the outright grunt.
Oh, Van der Waal had a little bit of moment there, went deep. So Colpitt's done very well to try and dive to the inside. He's now got him on the outside for turn 1. Now can the BMW use exactly what you said, the top end of the track. 9 thousandths of a second separated Colpitt and Van der Waal. He does get his nose in front for turn 1, but he's not quite
Oh, as he gets
away yet.
Puts on the squeeze. Oh, as Van der Waal goes all over the sausage curves. I think enough space was left. I just think he didn't quite get to turn out of it. And through goes Colpitt.
And just jumping back to Simon, is still hanging on to the back of this Mustang.
Oh no!
Oh,
As he switched back, he's under touch. I don't think there was a move on there. It was late. And it's a tight turn. He's letting back past at the cost of letting Harvey through. And probably Sharp as well, yep. Their fight will continue, but that'll be found in the steward's room, I've got no doubt about it. It's cost them both dearly. Van der Waal has not given up on Colpitt though.
Watching, the fastest lap at the moment is a 1:47.8.
Oh, as we just saw. Oh. Sorry, clicked on the wrong thing.
Yeah, checking.
Checking. So I was trying to find who it was that went off at Lesbo 2, but they've rejoined, as have I. Van der Waal not letting go of Colpitt. Spits a flame into the Parabolica. Spots his line much better this time. Narrowly misses the sausage curve on the outside.
And now Van der Waal's got a slipstream of the BMW now. There's anything about the BMW, you'll catch it in the slipstream, but as soon as you pull out of it to make a move, the BMW just carries on.
Yeah, as exemplified perfectly by two demonstrators there. Van der Waal just completely getting hit by a wind wall as soon as he pulls out from behind the beamer.
It's like the scene from Scooby-Doo. Are you challenging me? Oh, Con 912, where are you? Unfortunate moment, Ascari does seem to still be going though.
That's Hoek recovering from his pit lane start. Porsche not quite looking like a Porsche though. I'm pretty sure he's dented the front of that.
But so there we have it, folks. Moller, unfazed in the lead after having a week off last week, comes round the Parabolica for the final time in race 1 to take the checker flag for race 1.
Yeah, completely undramatised. He had Din alongside him in the early phase of the first lap, and then after that he just stepped away, built a 5-second gap, and there you are, P1 in sprint race 1. Followed by Din, Damrat in the very bright yellow. McLaren finished off P3. And Revel with a commanding lead in the silver tier finishes P4 on track, first in class. Followed by Kravek, who just caught up in too many battles to chase him down today. Sharp, I think, will be quite happy with the P4 considering what he went through. Followed by Harvey, who picked up a lot of positions at the end there. And Prentice, who eventually won out over Simon. Followed by Brown. Followed by Kalugin, who won the tier for the AM drivers. Colpitt, Van der Waal, who sorted out issues late on. Mornix, Trotman, who's returned to pits. Canal coming P19. And the only Audi I've seen so far this evening. Rodriguez in the other Mustang rounds off the top 20. Gedman in the tennis ball Porsche, followed by Rogers in the most professional looking livery that we have out there. Q Roberts in the Larry Lambo. Trotman is elected to go to the pits.
Ooh, I just missed the end of that. Coppins and Gennerich going right to the line there. 24 hundredths of a second that separated those two towards the line. I just missed that.
24 thousandths of a second. Wow. And then we've got SC, who's going to overtake Trotman for being on track. In a lovely looking livery, actually. A spray paint type livery. Not something you see. Must be on PC. He is.
No. Trotman is on PlayStation.
No, it was Rodriguez, I believe.
Let you off.
I think so. Where's he gone? There was a car amongst there that had an absolutely lovely spray paint type livery. I'm going to find them. Surfontaine's got quite a nice looking one, but that's not who it was. I give up. They're on the pits now. It's hard to spot. But there you have it, everybody. That is your finishing positions for Sprint Race 1. We're going to move from 20 minutes into a 40 minute, starting from where you found them at the start of Sprint Race 1. Do excuse your commentators while you might hear them have a little bit of a drink. It's very needing of hydration work, this. We do try hard to bring you all the action. But it's Monza pretty much providing exactly what we expected. Not apart from a chaotic turn 1, lap 1. All the normal chaos ensued just a little bit later on. So I'm very happy with state of affairs as it sits in FRL. When we get to the end of Sprint Race 2, we're going to catch up with some of the top finishing drivers. They're going to join us in the combox. We're going to have a little bit of a race review. Where you had one of the admins last week comes to join us to let you know all the juicy stuff that's going down into the next seasons. We're going to give you some gritty driver debriefs to keep you entertained. So keep your ears pinged up for that.
Let's just hope those drivers are on their best behaviour.
We know what your drivers are like.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know. What I do on the track isn't driving.
No, yours is more crashing. Whee!
Says the one who has to go to the track in real life to practice for the game.
Yeah, too right. Practice makes perfect, right?
Shame whilst you were there you didn't unlock the full track.
I know, but unfortunately if we did the full track it'd take me about 3 to 5 working days to do it in my little Fiesta, but the fact we did the national track, I'll take it.
So we're just waiting for the lobby to change over and we're going to have drivers just add a bit more fuel in, maybe adjust their setup just a little bit to allow for the longer runs as they take a bit more tyre deg, heavier fuel loads, and there will be flat out for 40 minutes, no need to pit, no pit requirements in this Sunday league. As with all this action, with all the excitement, I'm absolutely cooking. So yeah, guys, once again, if you're enjoying the stream, do let us know what you liked, who you vote, who you're rooting for, who you're rooting down. Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to cover, like us to try and spot for you, so we can share your messages of support. Also, if you enjoy the stream, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with a foe, and obviously check the comments or the description that we added later. For ways to get involved in the action, whether it be Sprint Sunday or any of the other wonderful events that FRL runs throughout the week. That's in ACC, as you see here, in Standard Assetto Corsa, in iRacing, in Formula One, in anything that you can think esports related. FRL has got you covered. And if you do find your way into the Discord, do make sure to check out the Patreon. Packages starting at only £3 a month, and that gives you early access to pick out your driver number and to get initial early entry into the events and special events that take part throughout the year. So we're very excited to bring you that. And obviously there are other more premium features that you can unlock along the way, but we'll leave that up to your personal discovery to keep that all nice and elusive. You have to join. You have to join if you want to find out that extra information. That's as simple as that, isn't it, Retro?
Yeah, be there or be square. But no, as always, folks, just on the back of that as well, so the guys that obviously are involved in incidents on track, obviously the stewards do work very hard, the admins do work very hard on this stewarding, and obviously reports as well. They have revamped the whole stewarding system, so obviously they're going to give a more fair chance, obviously, to appeal and discuss why a decision has been made. Obviously you can see verdicts of different stewards and stuff, so obviously if it's unanimous, if it's a split, or if it's a tie, obviously the guys will obviously give you a rundown of that, which is quite nice to see, because obviously a bit more in depth of, oh, he hit me, there you go, there's your penalty points, see you later. No, they're going to get more involved, more down to the detail of why you should or shouldn't be punished or let free as a free man.
It's also nice to know as well, obviously, if it is more of a split decision, sometimes incidents will come to you and you just think, well, if I've got this penalty, it means it sounds like it was unanimous. It's not always that case. I have a history of stewarding myself, and so does Retro. Sometimes we can come to almost a loggerheads between stewards, and sometimes it almost comes down to a very split decision. And Mr. Brown is unfortunately leaving us. He's had to go. Best of luck with whatever you're leaving us for. And yeah, sometimes it's just nice to know if it's a very close split decision. It often makes you feel a little bit better about the incident verdict you're receiving if you can see that it has come down to that much of a deep discussion. Obviously, if you spare someone into turn one and turn one in Monza, though, I reckon it's going to be fairly unanimous. So try and avoid doing that.
Leaf out of your book, is it there?
I didn't do it in turn one, I did it in turn two.
I've got witnesses.
Witnesses and replays and POVs to prove otherwise.
Oh no, I've hit drive by mistake. Oh, amateur hour.
So Retro will be joining us in 5 to 10 working days as he waits for the formation lap to finish before he can rejoin the action in full.
No, I've got it. Just about, barely.
But here on FRL's official stream, we are here and we are in the right viewing mode.
How's your broadcast view, Greg?
Oh, it's lovely, mate. I don't have to hear no helicopters.
Yeah, the fuel bill for the helicopter was too much tonight, sorry.
Yeah. Michael Massey's not a fan of heights, so we grounded him.
Well, heights doesn't really class as motor racing, does it, Toto?
No.
Speaking of Toto, I think I've just been blinded once again by that AMG. Oh, okay, seems to be doing weaves on the start straight. Not quite sure what he's doing there.
He's had a rather peculiar evening, that man, but I mean, we're here for the banter.
Not quite sure. Oh, no, he's back in the pits now.
I do wonder if we've got to return to pits. So those in the pits.
Jay Handley in the Ferrari car 22. So Mr. Hokey in the car 912 Porsche, and M. Coppins also in the Porsche, starting from the pits.
So let us know, guys, whilst you've still got half a lap to observe before we start this race. Do you expect a repeat of the happenings in race one? or you're expecting something completely different. I mean, Mola had a nice clean turn 1 last time out. Are we expecting him to get T-boned? It's not an objective, it's just an alternative perspective.
I mean, to be fair, as far as Moller goes, he normally gets away anyway. And so now we don't have, say, the appearance tonight of Kaufman once again. But so now we've already had race 1 underway.
We've got a bit of a flavour, a bit of a taste.
So maybe there's a bit of flavour, a bit of taste, or maybe there's a bit of salt in the wounds, or a bit of grit in the teeth, a bit of sand in the under tray, a bit of body damage flapping around.
I'll tell you one thing, they've picked up a lot more fuel, they've changed tyres, and they're ready to give this another stab. Sorry, trigger warning. As they've been given the instruction to go 2 by 2 around the parabolica. We're hoping for some action just like that, but a bit faster as we get into this race. Sure, I'd love them to actually release them around the parabolica. It's so much more entertaining. Wouldn't you think that'd be so much more entertaining?
For us it would be, yes. Cold tyres, being given the green flag halfway around the parabolica, I don't know what's worse.
Could you imagine being Can you imagine being Kalugin being given a green flag entering the parabolica around all the drivers he never usually races against? You go, ah! But we have now got.
For you, if it was that, it'd be.
We are green. Sorry, Retro. Away we go, and Din once again has got a great start. He's pulled up alongside Sween, but now he's got a bit more space to dive up the inside if he feels like it. But for the time being, he's using the steam of Moller. He blocks off Sween. Din. It's almost a repeat of the first race, but Din going a little bit deeper.
Brakes there.
Well, he's got it done this time, but he's left Moller the outside to have a go. Oh, we have a big pile up in the first turns. Oh, cars facing
everywhere.
backwards. We're going to stay on board with the fight.
Everywhere. I missed that because I hit drive. Oh, Simon's just been put in the wall after the chicane. Oh, that's big damage there. Cars still turn 3 coming together. What is happening?
Din's been punched over the second chicane. A lot more carnage. This time around, Din has took that position ahead. He's failed to lose a position there, I feel. I think maybe you should consider giving that one back to Moller, but the race goes on. So many cars at the back.
Yeah,
well
I'm
out of position.
Really sure what happened there, buddy, to be honest. Would say there was a big shenanigans in the turn 1, turn 2, even turn 3. Cars come together, cars being spat into the wall, drivers lifting off.
Sorry, Retro, battle for the lead once again. Moller has got into Ascari ahead, the power down the back straight. Sween now pushing Din along over the curb on the exit. Sharp not too far behind. McLaren's lining up. Sween looking for an outside move into the parabolica. Din covers it off. Move down the inside for Sharp on Damrat. But Damrat looks like he might get a bit of a cutback here. He does. McLaren's side by side, equal on power, equal on pace, potentially not equal on setup. Sween further ahead is lining up Din as he goes for a late dive, pulls out from the rear. Oh, but looks like Din's better on the brakes, but Sween lets off the brakes later on. Din used the same line that got him into the lead in the first lap.
Very nice from defending from Din there.
Same from Sharp. Sharp defending from Damrat. We're now going to start to venture further down the grid. Mulnix is following Coppit. Coppit's quite close. This battle reigniting from the last race.
We've got Crevette taking the escape route there through turn 1.
As he rejoins alongside the Porsche. Who's that? That's Thacker. Trotman, Rodriguez in the Ford. He was closing in nicely. Just keeping Trotman ahead of him. Further back, we've got Cablo, who attempted to go around the outside of Generic. Not Generic. That was Rogers, who was facing backwards after turn 1.
Yeah, so it was a great move from Rogers there, set him up nicely through the chicane, just got the power down, a bit better than the Bentley. So Battle of the Barges for a tight chicane, so BMW wins that one for now.
So just on board with Gedman.
Oh, what's happened there? Din's in the pits.
Oh, what a disaster. That releases Sharp into P2. So Mercedes, followed by McLaren.
Just going to check there. Damrat is eyeing up a move down the straight on Sharp. He's going to let for the inside. Yellow versus green. Who's going to win?
Looks like so far green is go.
Just a bit
but there's a yellow warning of an attack.
Which now then also invites Sween there. A three-way McLaren battle.
Oh, I reckon this could get messy. So much equal machinery, equal pace, equal stakes in the championship here.
Sharp trying to break that toe there, which then invited Sween in.
Just edges ahead for now. This is a great battle emerging.
Antonori is hot on the back of Sween as well. It now spices up to a four-way battle.
We've got Revel not far in the background. He's going to want to stay way out of this unless he gets any freebies.
So Revel doing quite nicely in class. He's got Jay Prentice between him and his next rival.
So just gone back and I picked up Colpix in the middle of a Mornix and BTK sandwich. Only about half a second covers this group.
You see blue flags being raised through Lesmo 2. There's an Audi that I see being waved of Cannell.
Yeah, it must have been involved in something quite heavy at the start to be blue flagged already. Oh, and BTK at the back of this battle for P10. Going a little bit wide on the exit of Ascari.
Oh, Rodriguez going for a bit of a bucket and spade. And Lesmo 2 there.
Seems to have recovered it though.
Well, Generic just up the road, trying to chase down Cablo. Once again, Battle of the Barges.
We're about to go three.
Beamer.
We're about to go three wide into Parabolica.
With Rogers there. Rogers has backed out, paused. He's got going again, but didn't look like he had any damage. Just stopped on track.
Yeah, and Kravik gets ahead of Rodriguez. As further back, it looked like Trotman was heading his way towards the, I'm going to call it the trampoline curb on the outside of the Parabolica. But back up towards the front, this battle of the McLarens is waging on. As Sween now ahead of this battle, but with Damrat pulling away. But Revel, who originally thought might back off this one, has pulled himself in. He's in a McLaren just like them. In my experience, the McLaren has marginally a bit more straight line speed than the Ferrari, so this will make an interesting attack going into Ascari. Revel pulling out, having a little look, seemingly losing pace out of the slipstream. If we go back to BTK though, he is not letting go of Colpitts. Just riding the curbs of Ascari that much better. Look how close he is. The Mercedes seems to be the car for this track. Colpitts going marginally defensive into Parabolica. Just shuts the door before entry. Back up to Revel, who went a bit deep and wide, but has opened his line up. He's definitely picked up the slipstream here for Antonori. And Ferrari limping towards the first turn. Revel alongside. How brave is he on the brakes? He throws it deep and pulls fully ahead. Very brave. I think Antonori didn't fight that one too hard. Now we've got Mulnix trying to go around the outside of Kalugin. Kalugin reclaims the line early on, invites Mulnix back up the inside, which will become the outside for the second chicane. And Mulnix gets by. Very, very good use of the racing line there. And so we're not letting Revel go. Now he's got a bit of slipstream. Looking a bit more confident. The front just starting to spread out a little bit more. BTK really looking like he's got a lot of straight line speed in that Mercedes.
Oh, we've got Serpentine and El Prentice side by side on the exit of the Parabolica there. P17 fighting for P16 there. Always going to try and weave across him there. I don't think he was quite fully in front of him there.
Was the Lambo gets bounding over the curb.
So El Prentice has now got Ferrari out of his way. He's now got Gedman in front of him.
Gedman, he doesn't look he's had the best exit out of Ascari. With how much Prentice is gaining on the back of him. Lamborghini looking mighty around the Parabolica, carrying so much speed. With the Porsche very good on traction. Might gain and claw a little bit back here. But now the Lamborghini's picked up the slipstream. What can he do against the Lamborghini? Lamborghini waits for the last minute to pull this one out. He does now. And backs out. Oh, Serfontaine had to brake to avoid Prentice there. Cuts the chicane and destroys a bit of styrofoam in the process.
Yeah, I didn't have the privilege of watching that on my screen there, but I just saw it on the stream. Wow, I bet those brakes are really hot.
He's got Genrich. This has been swapped round. Van der Voort in the McLaren trying to go around the outside of Genrich. Now becoming the inside. Doesn't fancy it just yet. Oh, as that is the Ferrari of Handley who had to cut the second chicane. That'll be a warning if ever I've seen one. And that's invited Rogers into this battle. Further up though, Kravik chasing Tabbers. Ferrari on Ferrari on Ferrari.
Just missed it there, so Antonori go for a big send on the inside. Sorry, Jay Prentice take a move on the inside of the Parabolica there.
So I think Gedman is getting a bit bullied here. He's got lots of cars on him. Don't think he knows which way to defend. He elects for the inside. That invites Tabbers around the outside. Kravik's going to look for the inside. He's getting absolutely swamped. Gedman pushes out. We might even get 4 wide down here with 2x2. Slipstream's being picked up. Ferrari. 2 Ferraris might look to go around the outside here. I don't know how this is going to finish. Oh!
Ferrari goes straight on. Lamborghini slips through.
It looks like Prentice wins out on that one. And that's Kravik rejoins, but with many warnings. Lets those pass to be took over illegally. But now...
Oh, he does kind of block Tabbers there, Kravik. But he does get back up to racing speed.
So yeah, this is a great battle going on for P15. Prentice is going to try and escape from now. He's the lowest down of the pro drivers. He's just show that pro class to pull away from this. He wants no part of that big battle. Looks like Rebel's taken another one of the pro drivers. And Prentice is now behind him. And Antonori is closing up on that very bright Mustang. As we find ourselves a third way through the race.
At the moment, the fastest lap is a 48.5 dead.
No let up on pace for these guys. As we rejoin the P15 battle.
215. Serpentine is facing the wrong way out of Ascari, I believe.
Ooh.
Can't quite see from the camera angle there.
Waits a good amount of time. And he spins it too much. You have to wait even longer now.
You spin me right round, baby. Oh, copyright.
Yeah. Right, well, Kravik trying to show another move on Gedman. Gedman getting very defensive down the straight. Moves back to the middle of the track to defend. Turns in, stays ahead. Prentice not quite escaping. As I mentioned earlier, Antonori getting very close on Prentice. Prentice not having the best time in that Mustang. And he's going to have Mulnix for company very, very soon. And Harvey. Revel just been quite happy to leave that gap behind. This battle for P15 has spaced ever so slightly. They're not quite nose to tail as they were before, but nonetheless, well within striking distance of each other. And I'm going to go back towards the front with Antonori and Prentice. Antonori really sticking to the inside. Prentice not trusting the tight grip of the Mustang, lets him to go wide for the slingshot. Here we go. Antonori, Lex for the outside, pulls out with the slipstream. How confident is he on the brakes? They match each other.
Harvey just coming in back there just to avoid both of them.
I think that's compromised them both around the chicane there, so I reckon Harvey might have a good shot here to maybe get one of the two. Well, both seem to get up to racing speed. Okay. Oh, it was Kravik into turn one. Gets a switcheroo off the curbing. Holds up Tabbers and Rodriguez. Rodriguez, who's now alongside Tabbers. Tabbers cuts across. Covers him off for now. I think Rodriguez will feel a bit hard done by there. Oh, Rodriguez looking fantastic with his drive through there. Tabbers, sorry. In the silver tier. Oh, looks for a move into Lesmo 2. Is that distracted Kravik enough for a move into Ascari? Noticing there's a very small gap towards the front. We're going to get on board with that in just a moment. We're going to see the conclusion of Tabbers versus Kravik into Ascari. Kravik really regaining his composure in this middle sector. Further up, Antonori, close as he has been previously with Prentice. He's tucked inside the slipstream, so he's going to close a lot as he comes down towards turn one, but he's not quite as close as he was in the previous lap. Very respectful battle for P6 going on here. Go back to Kravik once again. He's got Gedman for company. Switches the inside of Gedman. It's a much fairer fight with straight line speed, but what can they do on the brakes? Kravik places his car. Gedman elects to the inside of the second part of the chicane and drives out nicely.
Yeah, great defending there from Gedman.
Amazing how both drivers weren't too greatly compromised there. With Tabbers so close behind, very easy to get too engrossed in the battle between Kravik and Gedman and lose out to Tabbers and Rodriguez.
So Rodriguez has joined the back of this little battle. So even though they're different classes, Rodriguez is not allowed.
Oh, it's Gedman. There's a boatload of grass. What will that do for his chances? Into Ascari. Kravik alongside to the outside. That's not really where we want to be for Ascari unless he's super confident on the brakes. As he is! Great move around the outside into Ascari. Oh, I did notice further down we had Townsend in a very, very battered McLaren chasing down Hoek. Going so fast the camera has to catch up. Had a long day, Retro.
Yeah, sorry about it. It's a 2.5 hour drive home before commentating. I do apologise, folks. I didn't want to miss all the fun of this multi-tier race. But say 2.5 hour drive, just flat out, just to make sure that I could be with you guys tonight.
So, we've got Gedman defending once again. He's got Tabbers for company this time.
Oh, Tabbers big on the brakes there. Nearly hits the back of Gedman.
What can Rodriguez do with this? Tabbers has been compromised. Just like that, Ferrari's just slightly better on traction. But that has dropped Tabbers way back. If Mustang power can be used, they might have a nice long braking zone to utilise. Just doesn't seem to have the grip around the long corners, does the Mustang. Parabolic and Curve de Grande both suffering on both counts.
Well, you can't have both sides of the story, mate. You can't have your cake and eat it. You either have the pace and the big barge down the straights, or you lose a little bit round the corners.
As we cross the halfway mark, not too many movers and changes after the first lap. That big collision in between turn 1 and 2 with Rogers facing backwards, but Rogers doing well so far, at least I've seen. Start fighting back.
Q Robert trying to eye up a move on Colpitts into Parabolica, different battle that we've not seen just yet. Oh, just lost the
that's
rear
a big
there.
snap.
Commentator's curse if I've seen one ever.
The biggest personal snap I've seen all race. And it's as soon as Retro opened his gob.
I know, can't help it. It's like Colpitts and Q Robert currently P2 and P3 in class at the minute. So the closest rival to that is Rodriguez down in P20.
So we do still have this long going battle for P6, which includes Jay Prentice, Antonori, G Harvey and Mulnix, all within about 2 seconds of each other. Prentice doing a very good job to just about utilise one of the other Mustangs. Very, very equal, balanced drive coming from these four. We're back to Harvey though, who is the closest, with Antonori. As they continue to power through with poise through Ascari.
Oh, I think BTK in that bright AMG had a bit of a moment. He did. Does recompose himself. Colpitts is going to say thank you very much to that position.
Yeah, well, they've been fighting over that one for quite a while. Two of the fastest straight line cars on circuit. Can BTK fire anything back? He's got some speed. I can tell you that for free. But I think the braking zone's going to come just marginally too soon.
Going to interrupt you there, buddy. Tabbers is trying to chase down Gedman down the start straight. Gedman elects to the outside, so he's got the inside for the exit of turn 2.
Ooh, as Tabbers cuts across the track to tuck in behind. Oh, as further back, who is that? That's
Handley.
Handley not doing great at taking the chicane as it was originally intended.
Well, we've got Van der Waal doing the same as well.
So we're about 25 minutes into this race, potentially a graining phase for some of the cars. It's a long way to go still, but if you can get to this phase, you might just finish off the race strongly. Gedmin is not being left alone by Tabbers, making life very uncomfortable for him, but Tabbers is not making life easy for himself either. Big snap midway through Lesmo 1. But I picked BTK back up. It was very close out of Lesmo 2 with cold pits.
Both drivers getting a big snap there out of Ascari.
I think BTK has dealt with it a little bit better. He seems to be closing down the back straight.
Colpit's having a bit of a snap there in the parabolica.
That might be all BTK needs. Oh, as he goes off track himself. As Q Robert eyeing this up.
Just slightly behind as well, we've got Kravec and Grafe. Kravec trying to chase down the Mustang into turn 1, just slightly behind.
Kravec, who in the end seems to out drag the Mustang at the end there. What a sight.
Gedman once again just slightly behind that battle, does still fend off Tabbers for another lap into turn 1.
We go up to Molnix, who's still hot on the heels of Harvey. As they come down towards Ascari. 10th and a half is the gap. So half a second under braking. But that can all be brought back with a good exit. She seems to get what was made of this when they get to the straight. But further up, Sween, I don't know how long he's been looking for Damrat, but he's found him. Half a second is the gap. This is for P2, second in class. So it's been a long time coming. Sween punches out of turn 2, round the Curve de Grande.
Yeah, I think Damrat might be struggling a little bit there, so lap times have come down a bit for him. Even Sween, lap times have come down a bit, maybe a bit of a moment, and so that horrible graining phase, so they're just struggling with at the moment.
Sween dancing around like a ballerina behind Damrat with all the poise and precision needed to hold on to this fight. They both take maximum track limits on the exit. Sween having a little look into Ascari.
I'm not quite sure what's happened to Jay Prentice as well. He's slightly dropped off as well, which has now allowed Harvey to close up to him while still trying to keep the defence on from Molnix.
Sween just seems to be gaining on every single exit.
Oh, big snap there from Damrat. Oh, big snap from Sween. Sween does do very well to recover it on the inside sideways.
And Sween takes the position from Damrat.
Damrat to then close up on the slipstream. Can he do it into turn 1?
Quite the recovery move if he can get this one done. To losing it around the parabolica. No, accepts his position for now. Oh, who was that?
Oh, Q Robert and BTK at the back there, the parabolica. BTK had a bit of a moment there, ran off track, but now has invited Q Roberts side by side, down the straight.
Q Roberts been coming for quite a while. Now, all his work is coming to fruition. Mercedes pulling ahead initially, but then Lamborghini feeling confident on the brake, gets ahead, gets his nose in. Oh, as they touch axles, Lamborghini drags it out wide. How will they do on the exit? The Mercedes goes the long way around into turn 3. The Lamborghini is still there. Lamborghini doing very well to hold this tight inside, gets his nose slightly ahead. But the Lamborghini is still there as the track opens up. What does this mean under braking? The Lamborghini brakes and gets ahead. Fantastic move. Great circuit knowledge
there as well, buddy. I think Jay Prentice had a bit of a moment because Harvey and Molnix are now in front of the Mustang. So I'm not quite sure what happened to the Mustang, but he's now dropped down to P8.
Oh, well, it's been such a great battle there so far. Revel once again finding himself in so much clean air. Picking up Q Robert on the back of BTK once again. He's very much earned this position so far. He's already taken it once. But now he's invited another another Lamborghini of El Prentice into the fight with the battle that he's ensued for P11. As we enter the last 10 minutes, as BTK gets another snap and he's onto the grass. Oh. BTK comes up and just misses the other Lamborghini as he re-enters.
Well there.
Lamborghini, look at the Mercedes
off as well. Parabolica.
Completely lost him. Oh, that is one battered Ferrari at this stage in the race.
I think we will have to try and see if we can jump on board the replay there just to see what happened. Again, apologies if you may experience epilepsy or anything like that. This is the replay system that we have to use, so we're just as blind as you are. Oh no, unfortunately Krivek just unfortunately loses his own esteem. Oh, that's a bit dangerous from Krivek there. Who was that was in front? That was the Mustang.
So for those watching listening on the main stream, obviously you have to just take Retro's word picture.
Oh, speaking of taking my word, my game just crashed.
Oh.
And my stream's just stopped. Oh.
Well, we've still got you on com, so when you can join back with us, we are following Antonori, who's chasing down Jay Prentice in the Mustang. There have been disconnections that are only affecting us in commentary and not those racing. They deserve to race. We're just here to bring it to you.
But what I just gathered from that replay, I think Rivette just came in a bit too hot for the Parabolica, just lost the rear, slams into the inside wall, but doesn't look like he holds his brakes. Oh, sorry,
Retro, we've got Antonori, who's trying to make a late diving move into turn 1. He gets alongside the Mustang. Mustang pushes him wide and deep. Oh, but then Antonori taps him on the rear as they exit the corner. Antonori with a drive away. I wonder how much that's unsettled Prentice as they drive off around the Curve de Grande. Well, it looks like Prentice has regained the composure of the second chicane now. Further ahead, the battle of the Ferraris, Harvey and Molnix chasing down. Oh, I say that. I think they've come across some lapping traffic, and that has allowed Molnix to pop a nose on the inside of Harvey. Now Prentice has got Antonori's company once again. Oh, as Antonori gets a huge snap entering Ascari, and that drops him quite far back from Prentice. They'll have to rebuild that. We've got Vanderbilt further down, who's picked up an ailing Kravik, who's in P18. We've got back to Antonori though, who's through the Parabolica, has regained a lot of that speed. So very, very clever covering of the first turn from Prentice. Mulnix, despite the opportunities, has not got past Harvey. 3/10 is the gap. But with equal machinery, not quite sure how he's going to get past without Harvey making a mistake. So far he's driven absolutely impeccably. They seem very, very equal on pace. We catch both of these battles in that shot there. Oh, as we go back, Antonori looking for a move around the outside of Prentice, but Prentice regaining the racing line on exit.
You've got Handley and Grafe there going at it in the second chicane. I think Handley just gets the better drive out the chicane there. Grafe does back out of it.
So I'm just staying on board with Harvey, who's just had a bit of an error going through Ascari. Means Mulnix is going to be very close on his rear as he comes into the Parabolica. But Mulnix looking like he's pretty banged up at this point. Just losing performance around the more technical parts of the circuit. Prentice and Antonori going at it once again. Prentice going defensive, taking the inside line. Ooh, as Prentice with the same tactics tried to muscle Antonori out, but Antonori was alongside. They seemed to get out without too much damage and too much time lost, but that has invited Kalugin to follow them up the rear, coming into the second chicane. He'll be able to pick off any scraps from this. Leader of the AM class looking to pick up scraps from the pro drivers. Antonori drops to the inside once again. Prentice pushes him out wide, that sends Antonori over the curb. And then Kalugin looks for movement to the inside, doesn't get it done. He gets blocked out by Prentice. Antonori on the outside of Lesmo 1. Back to the racing line they go.
Big snap from Jay Prentice once again. That Mustang struggling round the corners.
It looks like normal order has been resumed there. We'll stay on board just for a few more corners. Because if Prentice is struggling this much, I think opportunities will arise.
So from one Prentice to another, we've got L Prentice trying to chase down Q Robert. Just slightly behind.
Oh! That was Prentice hitting the wall. And with Antonori has got through there. He has. With Antonori and Kalugin both get through from Prentice as Prentice exits Ascari into the exit wall. We'll join Retro's battle with L Prentice and Q Robert. Lambo on Lambo. Pro versus Am. This is quite the bragging rights for Robert here. If he can hold on to this one for the next 2.5 minutes. Slipstream has been picked up. Oh, very, very good on the brakes from Prentice there. Really takes a little bit out of Robert. We go back to Tabbers, who's chasing down Grafe. A quarter of a second gap.
So There's a great defensive from Grafe there in turn 1. Tabbers tried to go around the outside, but Grafe, making his Mustang known how big it is, was fending him off for turn 1 and turn 2 there.
Oh, it looks like Grafe went a little bit wide on the exit. So invited Tabbers around the outside. Not often you see moves around the outside of the Lesmos. Tabbers did try it, kept him honest. This invites Rogers back in. Rogers having a great drive from being backwards in turn 1. Grafe having to lead Tabbers away. Goes to the middle of the track for defence.
Oh, Hanley getting a big snap out of Ascari there. Car 13 speed in the pit lane.
Tabbers almost pushing Grafe along down towards the Parabolica. Pulls out once again. Grafe's loving giving Tabbers the outside. But Tabbers says, do you know what? I'll take it. Oh, but then he gets tagged. Allows Rogers up the inside. Can Rogers get 2 in 1 here? He's pulled alongside Grafe. Oh, as it looked for a moment there that Grafe was going to sideswipe Rogers. Doesn't happen in the end though. But Grafe looks like he might go for a big dive. Backs out at the last second. Do wonder if Tabbers have anything to say about that in the steward's room afterwards. Looked a bit naughty on Grafe's behalf. This is the closest battle on track as it stands. So we're going to stay on board. So sorry we've missed out in all the action. Muller, we thought we were going to get extra lap, but Muller, well done, he has won the race. Followed by Sween. And then Damrat. Then Damrat rounds out the podium, finishes for Pro Tier. Sharp in the second to last. McLaren in this quartet, followed by Revel, who takes a win in class and a P5 on the road. Then Harvey, who just with once again very caught up in battles behind Revel, takes a very solid P6. Antonori, once again another one involved in lots of battles, takes a P7. And Klugin, win in class in P8. Well done to him. And Molnix turns off Colpitts to take P8. Prentice and Prentice in P10 and 11. Followed by Q Robert, Hanley. And Rogers does escape this battle of Grafe and Tabbers, which is going to go all the way to the line. It looks like Grafe just lets him have it on the line. And then Kravek, who's had a solid race, so involved in so many battles, comes in P17. Van der Waal in with his McLaren, looks like it's going to bonnet fly off any moment, comes in P18, followed by Gedman weaving and hopefully not destroying his bright yellow. I think he's just going to, for celebration, cut turn 1. And there you have it, everybody. There are your finishers for Super Sprint Sunday. We still have some who are... I can't select anymore, but we've got a few more that... And, yeah. So a few more either in the pits, a few laps down. And that is your finishing positions for your Super Sprint Sunday. And if you hold on with us, we are going to get some of the podium finishers in for a chat to find out their reflections on the race. Where the administrators are going to resolve that for us.
And so we will apologise in advance for any colourful language that may be used, but obviously we do try to keep this stream as PG as possible. I mean, it's probably easy enough for me to do it, as many nicknames I've been given over the years, and I'm sure...
Potty Mouth Retro.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure that wasn't going to make an appearance at some point. I say, if you are watching, lads, and you are in the interview, please do keep it clean and PG, as we do try and make this as family friendly as we can.
Just waiting for those to get added in, but I've thoroughly enjoyed that race. It seemed to get more and more chaotic the closer you went to the middle of the grid. There's a lot of isolated battles, some quite big ones actually. That battle for P3 was quite enthralling for quite a while. All those McLarens occupying fourth to fifth really kept us entertained. And then we had Antonori Kalugin, Mornix, Harvey engaged in the battle, and then we had Rogers, Tabbers, Grave, Kravek further back that were very much entertaining. So we're just seeing if we're going to get anybody in. So we're just waiting for the admins to organise. But I thoroughly enjoyed that retro. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, for the bits that I could see, great, fantastic. Now, obviously, unfortunately, my game crashed. Obviously, I don't have the perfect replay of the whole race, but I would love to know how busy the stewards are going to be after that turn 1, race 2. So especially as I was just saying, say Kravek unfortunately went quite deep into Parabolica and then say cut to the inside, smashing into the inside wall, rolled completely across the track, and the Mustang of Grafe, I believe it was, did very well to avoid any collision from him.
This is a new feature of trying to integrate, so I do apologise that it's taken a little while. Whilst we are waiting, obviously, once again, thank you all so much for joining. Make sure you like, subscribe if you want to continue following the action. Obviously, you can join the Discord based on the description that's left. There's probably still some administrators that can pick up your comments if you're going to request to join. FRL's got you covered for all things esports racing online, whether it be ACC, F1, iRacing, you name it. If it's got four wheels and it drives online, FRL's got you covered. Once you're in the Discord, if you fancy getting a step ahead, you can join the Patreon, starting at packages from just £3 a month. We get to make sure you get advanced choice of driver numbers. You get early entry into FRL events, special events, and new seasons, amongst a whole load of other raft of extra things that you can do. I'm going to call it there. I don't think we're going to get any drivers in this evening. There's quite a lot of chatter in the Discord based on the many events that have happened this evening, but I don't think we're going to get an audio from any of the drivers. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you all next week for more racing, Sprint Sunday racing in FRL. Have a good evening, guys. Bye now.